No, I still can't, Janine. Bob, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
But you're not hearing Janine either, are you?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting. Were you on your iPhone or your iPad?
On my Chromebook.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. But I do have an iMac and a couple of iPhones and iPad.
So how's everything going for you?
Oh, well, it's going fine. Not perfect, but working on that. But I mean, computer-wise, yeah. I mean, I love our iMac. It's a late 2015, so it's fairly new, and I use it a lot. My wife uses it. She loves it. It's got the big screen, 27-inch 5.
That's nice.
The what is it? The 5. Well, it's the best picture, the best display. Yeah.
Oh.
It's got a great display.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always been good from that standpoint. That's for sure.
You know.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, have you experienced the newer or the latest one? The latest
No,
iMac?
I haven't. I'm afraid to go in a store and look at it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I want. We needed. We just needed a computer real bad, and but we like Macs, and so at the time it was just before, a few months before the new one came out. So, but at Nebraska Furniture Mart, the only retailer I could find that offered a discount of any kind on an Apple product, which is amazing. They had a discount on all their Apple products.
Wow, that's unusual.
Nebraska Furniture Mart. I don't know if
they're.
Oh, they're
Furniture Mart, huh?
Do you know who Warren Buffett is?
Sure.
He's the one that started it. He founded the retailer, and of course they're in Omaha. I mean, they're based in Omaha.
Right.
But they only have stores in a few cities. I think in Kansas, and the one here. I'm in the Dallas area, and the one here has only been open a couple years.
Okay.
But it's a great store. It really is, and
everything in the store pretty much is discounted to some extent.
I'm not sure about everything. I know the iMacs are, and I also bought a receiver there, and that was kind of a weird deal. We got a better one than expected, but that was a good deal too. But yeah, you can get some good deals there. Mm-hmm.
Good.
But yeah, they're only in, I think, 4 or 5 cities, and they're mostly in the Midwest, I think. But
how's your weather situation, Bob, back there in Dallas?
Well, it's great now. It's going to be in the 70s today, and it's going to cool off tomorrow to the 60s, and then it's going to. I think next week it's going to be in the 70s every day. So it's spring's coming. It's coming around.
We're getting just here in Southern California. We're getting just a little bit of hint of rain. We can use it. There's no two ways about it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, my wife and I are getting our RV set up. We're going for 4 days down to Chula Vista with a small RV rally down there. And putting crap in it in the rain is always a thrill. And I said, just before we started the meeting, I said, look, I'm going to go put the awning out so at least we'll have a little bit of dry as we get in. And I've got it parked a little too close to the house to be able to get the awning out more than a couple of feet. So it's better than nothing, but basically all we have left to do now is just put food and clothes in it. So other than that, we're ready to go. So.
Yeah, my wife and I, we talked about getting RVs. We like to travel around the country a lot, sure. But she's still working, so I'm retired, so I could do that. But we have other things going on too. We have a house in Thailand, and
Thailand,
so,
wow.
Yeah, and when my wife's from there, she's Thai,
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's going to put a damper on any RV, I
Sure.
think,
Well, you can
because
always rent one. You can always rent one for a couple of weeks or whatever.
oh, I
But
never thought of that.
the way to do it is don't go through like one of the nationwide chains. Go to rvshare.com, and those are individuals that have been vetted that rent their RVs out when they're not using them.
Wow, that's very
And
interesting.
so you
RVshare.com.
rvshare.com. And
Mm.
you can get, they're all across the country. We've thought about it, but at the moment, since this one that we've got, basically we've only had it since October. She says, well,
Mm.
wait till we get bored a little bit with it, because we've got this trip to Chula Vista planned here in the next few days, and then a month from now we're going to Vegas with another group for 4 days, and then in
Wow.
mid-May we're taking off for Alaska, and we're going to be gone for 3 months.
Wow.
So while she's into it, I want to take advantage. I want to take advantage of it as much as I possibly can. So
Well, you're still young, right?
66, but I'm getting there. So
Well, I've just turned 66 too.
so,
But yeah, that sounds great. I mean, we could rent one. We take one or two road trips every year. Well, we also go down to Austin periodically, which is only 3.5 hours.
right.
But we'll probably be going to North Carolina and Florida in September. So
Well, in our case, we've got 2 dogs, and so when we decided to get back, we was our third motorhome, and we hadn't had one for a couple of years. When we decided to buy this particular brand, we started looking around for them, and to buy a new one, it was about a 10-month wait. They're that backlog. And so I said, well, let's get a used one if we can find one that's 1 or 2 years old or whatever. And this one was about 9 months old. The people put 2,500 miles on it, but it was in Vermont. So we flew to Vermont, up at the airport, and we drove it back home. And
okay.
it's small enough. It's a 25-foot Class C, and it's small enough that my wife is willing to drive it, which is good because she wouldn't drive the Class A, the 31-footer that we had before. But the big issue for us is we've got 2 dogs, and putting them in dog jail while you're traveling, damn, that's expensive. It was $1,100 for the week and a half that we were gone, and for the 2 of them. And now we can take them with us. We're taking them with us to Alaska with about half the rest of the group's got dogs going up there with them as well. So
Okay.
and they're small enough that at least if they make a mess, it's a really small mess. So.
Well, yeah, small would be best for an RV, I would assume.
Yeah, well, we used to take about a 50-pound dog with us, and she was great. We had a Chihuahua then, and her, and they were both great travelers. Of course, the little dog, all we've got up on the little dog at the time was a mini pin, and she would ride in my wife's lap. But now the little Chihuahua we have now is about 7 pounds. The other one's about 15, and because she's actually a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix. And the little Chihuahua, she if we start going up, curvy roads or something like that or whatever, she'll somehow climb and get between my wife's back and the chair seat, which makes it real uncomfortable for my wife. But I guess she figures she's protected in case we crash or something like that. but it bugs my wife. So now we're trying to figure out, both the dogs want to ride on her lap. Well, Chula Vista is only about 2.5 hours from here, so that's not bad. But Alaska, that's going to be a real thrill for them to ride on her lap. So I'm trying to figure out some way of getting them into some kind of a dog chair or whatever, where they can sort of see out a window and not be bugging her all the time, kind of a thing. So the worst part is they want to walk on the floor. Yeah, we can hear you now, Janine.
Okay, thank you.
And I said we got Frank Mossberger and Mario and Ron and Larry and Ray, and I guess Robert's thinking about joining us. So
I can't see the others. I can only see you and myself.
Okay, if you're on your Chromebook, there should be an option. I'm not sure what it looks like on a Chromebook. In the upper right-hand side, it might say speaker view or gallery. Click on gallery view.
Gallery view. Yeah, now I see everybody. Okay. I see. Yeah.
On the speaker view, there's an option, at least on the Macs and regular PC side. So it probably does on Chromebook as well. There is an option to see like either 4 or 6 of the most recent speakers. So like if we've got like 30 or 40 people on, those little screens will rotate back and forth. In the gallery view, what it does is who's ever talking, it sort of highlights it with like a green rim around it. And it'll hold up to 49 people in the gallery view. The pictures just get smaller and smaller. So
I can see 6 people right now. 6.
We've got 9 we've got 9 so far at the moment.
Okay.
Sure, Ray, making us all hungry while you're having breakfast.
Greg, Greg, I'm not. It is acting as if I have tape over my camera because everything.
That's Robert. Okay.
Like it should be working.
There you go.
Well, you might have your video stopped, Robert.
No. I have an opportunity to stop video, but it's not.
That's interesting. You might go on the little arrow to the right of the stop video icon, pop that up and go into the video settings. You might see if there's something weird in there.
Right.
There you go. Now we got the Minicam logo up there. When you hit
correct. I just switched it to that thinking it might help.
Yeah. Janine, I'll have to talk to you a little later today. It will be easier for us if it works out for you if we see you on the way going up to Seattle rather than on the way coming back.
No problem. Do you know any more dates yet?
Probably, I'm guessing around the 20th of May, somewhere around there.
Sounds delicious. We have really nice weather here around May. It can get cold, but sure, anytime. You're welcome. Love to have you here.
Since our Alaska trip is pretty well defined, I mean the guy who's putting this together, the head of our leisure travel vans Southwest Road Runners RV Club. Could you get a busier name than that? And but he gets a little bit of the club gets a little bit of sponsorship if we put leisure travel up in front of it. So what the hell, we're getting
that would make quite an acronym.
Yeah, that's true. But we just go by Road Runners for the most part. But
yeah.
So we're going down to, as I was telling Bob, we're going down to Chula Vista for 4 days. Hi, Steve. Here, leaving tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be raining the whole time. It's just starting to sprinkle around here right now. And we're trying to figure out. We got the RV ready to go with the exception of food and maybe a little bit more clothes. And so Marsha's out at the store right now picking up whatever she wants to eat because I'm eating the food off of my diet. I've lost a little over 70 pounds so far.
Congratulations.
So I got about 130 to go, but I'll get there eventually. So
yes, you will.
And so I figure about this time next year I should be pretty close to what I hope would be the normal weight for me. But
that's fabulous.
by golly, we were going to tow the Honda down there so that we could leave the RV and drive out around San Diego or whatever rather than taking public transportation. A lot of people were planning on taking their bicycles, and boy, if it's raining, I don't know how much people are going to want to do that. But we were going to tow the Honda, and when the last time we used it, I brought up and I disconnected everything. I took all the loose parts, and I said, Marcia, put these in a bag and set them aside. She set them aside, all right. We can't find them. So we may not be taking the car tomorrow. We may just be taking the RV only, but I will find them between now and Alaska, or I'll just go out and replace them if that's the case. So dumb, well, it happens. She goes, well, I put them in a bag. Well, that's fine, honey. Any idea where you might have put them? Yeah, I put them in the back of your car. No, go look in the back of my car. They're not there, Oh, well.
I had a question.
Go ahead, Mario.
Okay, I tried to get carbonite to work.
Okay.
I started here, and it was a fiasco. I don't know why, but it slowed down everything. When you're going through the initial upload.
Right.
Okay, and it really screwed things up. I mean, my browser, I have 2 browsers I use. I always do everything. But anyway,
Okay.
I had Safari. Not so much Safari, but I really screwed up the Firefox. And I was fighting it. I was trying it. And I tell you, it does run like a glacier. I mean, it was slow. Okay, and I couldn't tell what was happening, and I finally got pissed off. And well, matter of fact, I got so bad that everything stopped working, and I just had to quit. Okay, and so what's happened is I gave up, and I finally just uninstalled it.
Right.
And then I went around, and I found a thing called Backblaze.
Backblaze, yeah, that's supposed to be pretty good.
That's what I'm using right now.
Is that right?
It's
My
working.
contract for Carbonite comes up in September or October, somewhere in that time frame, and I'll give some other options because it works well. But you're right. I think it's too much of a CPU pig. And
I don't know what it is. It was
well,
terrible.
I mean, I use the little menu options up there. I'll hit the pause for 24 hours. Like for this, I hit the pause for 24 hours. Why would I want to? First off, I haven't done anything in the last couple of days, really. So why would I make it eat 80 or 90% of one of the 4 CPU processes up, waiting for me to do something? That's why I have some real gripes. Their customer service is really good. I'll give them that. So if you have a problem,
they contacted me and I talked back and forth. We tried to get it to, and until I finally just gave up. But the other thing too is, as I understand it, they do not automatically upload your videos, and you have to do it manually. Of course, what I read, Backblaze does everything.
Everything, yeah. Huh.
And it's been going now. As a matter of fact, I'm at the point now where I'm down to about 90 files left to go. And it's moving at a much faster pace than Carbonite.
Well, that's good.
So
Do you remember how much what the price is of Backblaze?
Pardon?
Do you remember what the cost of Backblaze is?
Yes, $50 a year.
And for how much storage? Whatever you need?
Pardon?
How much is that for how much storage, or is that just your internal drive worth of storage?
Unlimited.
Really? Wow, that's a good deal.
Say everything. And it is. And as a matter of fact, I'm watching it, and it's uploading my videos right now, so forth. So to me, it's a better buy. And
yeah, like I said, I'll have to look at it myself. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It plays nice with the computer. I mean,
well, that's good.
I mean, it's right now, and it still hasn't finished in uploading, and I'm not getting any interruption. I do notice that maybe my browsing is a little slow until it finally catches up.
Does it give you that's one feature I do like about one of the few features I like about Carbonite is the little menu option, because you can click up there and either hit pause for 24 hours or hit lower priority. That helps a little bit. But I don't know about you, but whenever I go to system preferences and go to Carbonite, system preferences like stops responding, and it takes 2 or 3 minutes for it to come back. Does that happen to you too?
No, not so. Yeah, well, everything was slow. With Carbonite, it still comes. It takes a while to get the preferences up. That's true.
I don't understand why that is, since it's eating up so much resource.
But so, it's much.
I've had it. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, I think I can live with Backblaze.
Well, I may talk to you more times between now and renewal time to see how you're feeling about it. So,
what's the name of that again? I didn't hear it.
It's called Backblaze.
Backplace or Backblade?
Blaze. B-L-A-Z-E.
B-L-A-D-E?
Z is in zebra. Blaze, like blazing fire.
Oh, okay.
Blaze.
Okay, thanks.
Blaze. And when I started checking into it, there were some YouTube videos, including the CEO of Backblaze, and he went and demonstrated, and it was very straightforward. Anyway, I just want to say that it's much. I'm sorry. Carbonite gave me a heart attack.
Well, that's fine. Hey, you know what? Nothing works for everybody. Like I said, it was the one that was recommended the most by Leo Laporte on Mac Break, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot, and it saved my butt the first year, you know. And but there's things I don't like about it. It just seems, you're right. It's just, I have a feeling it was written for the PC world, and they just sort of made it. They cobbled it together to make it work for Mac, and it works. Right. And it doesn't cause any problems, corruption-wise or anything like that. That's fine from that standpoint. But it's a little long in the tooth for any kind of updates or whatever. They do about one update a year or whatever, which is pretty minimal. And it's a little sloppy from the interface-wise, I think. So, oh well.
Yeah, I was using the Crash Plan, which is going to go away in about a week.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Crash Plan actually had some pretty good. I'm surprised it's disappearing. So I always thought
Yeah.
that was one that Adrian used to use, and he really raved about it. So
It was great. And the problem, I think they just want to get out of the home business.
I think so.
But anyway, but like I said, Backblade, another thing, I know it's designed for a Mac. The little icon they have showing
Right.
going up is a Mac. That's
well, that's good, at least, as opposed to a circle or dots or whatever the hell it is. That's good.
Yeah.
So, okay, Robert,
So,
we see a picture of you now. That's a good sign.
You know, that's that good old restart.
Huh, weird.
Well, I need to do everything I tell my clients to do.
No, that's true. All right. Well, anybody got any questions? Well, we've got Robert here as well. Anybody got any questions or issues that we can address or maybe talk on while we're waiting for others to join us? Morning, Steve. You looking pretty good.
Hi, Guy. You were talking about your weight loss.
Yeah.
My daughter asked me, Dad, how much weight have you lost? And it was like, I calculated out, it was like 48 pounds.
You can really see it in your face. You can really see the difference in your face.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. No, just it's narrower. Well,
Yeah.
if I'd shaved the beard, I'd look the same way too. So.
I know. There's some people, though, I don't think I'll ever going to see their face, the ones with beards.
No, I swear I'm going to. My goal that I've given myself this time around is when I get down to my goal weight, about a year from now, I'm going to shave it off. And just to see how my wife reacts about it, because she hates it when I shave my beard off.
Oh.
But I said, okay, fine, I'll keep it at least until then, and then we'll see. Then we'll see what it looks like. By then, I'll have so much wrinkly skin all over. I'll probably want to grow the beard back just to cover it up. So you need to trim real bad right now. I got to do that today or tomorrow before we take off.
So where are you going?
Just to Chula Vista for a few days.
Oh.
Down south. So.
Has anybody had any experience with the new iMac Pros? Are they good or not?
Who has the money?
Anybody got an iMac Pro or had a chance to play with one?
No? Okay.
If not, still too new, I guess.
Well, I want one, but I have to sell my others first.
Well, those of you who remember last month that I was having problems with this laptop and with the battery issues and all that, between Robert recommending going to System Profiler and looking to see if everything looked like it was okay, and Bruce's idea of resetting, what was it, the SMC controller, Robert, I think that's what he was talking about. Apparently what I was doing is I was using the wrong keyboard combination. I was using a keyboard combination that was like 8 or 10 years ago, and Apple has since changed it. And so thinking about that later in the day, I went ahead and did a Google search. I said, wait a minute, that's a different keyboard combination. Well, yeah, they've done that over the years for whatever reason. And as soon as I used that keyboard combination, all the problems went away. So I'm going to be able to squeeze another year or two out of this thing because I haven't seen, it's a different story if you're using it for business like Robert is, but I haven't seen enough of a power increase or a feature increase on the latest MacBook Pro to make me want to upgrade my existing MacBook Pro. I may be wrong on that, but for as little as I'm using it for anything other than, now I'm going to get, hopefully I'm going to get into more serious videos. I've been trying to convince my wife to let me get a GoPro. Well, that's a video for our RV travels. I'm going to end up using the iPhone for the time being. But I really been trying to bug her about getting a drone.
Oh.
And the chance of that was really slim. And then the other day, I get, because I'm an Amazon Prime member, I get this email. Here was a drone for $39.90. It was HD. Now, it's probably really limited in what it can do. But for $39.90, it was half price of what it normally goes for. I thought, for $40, I can afford to crash that at least because everybody seems to crash their first drone. So I figured, well, what the hell? I won't get it till Friday. But I figured, well, what the hell? Well, this morning she found out that I was getting this, and she says, well, okay. At least it's only $40. Boy, you better get some good footage with that to justify wanting to get a better one. So we'll see how that works out. Anybody ever shot? Anybody ever used a drone before? I've always wanted one. I like the idea of flying stuff, you know. But
Yeah, the Mavic
that's the one I
by
want to
DJ.
get. Yeah,
DJI, yeah.
Phantom, I think it's
I
called.
didn't. I got my my son, not the Pro, but the one underneath that. I forget which
Okay.
one it is.
About $800.
Yeah, it was more. It was about 1,000. It has recently dropped. Dealmaster had it off for $100 off of its latest cheap price recently. But he's had an app, and then they've made a smaller one yet from that. But the smaller one has a much more significant battery life, lesser battery life, and the battery life is part of what makes them fun, because you can get out and really go and not be distracted by the having to continually come back and recharge it so often.
Yeah, if you watch any of the YouTube videos, everybody's got like 3 or 4 batteries that they keep swapping them out through.
Right,
The batteries
of course.
about a 20, 30-minute run, something like that.
Right. Well, and with spoil my kids like I do, I got them a car charger and 2 or 3 extra batteries and all that kind of stuff. So he just brings it home. Well, it automatically returns home, as most of them do.
That's a cool feature. I love that. I mean, you hit something to establish the GPS position when you start off, I guess.
Well,
and
no, it automatically learns it.
It does, and it comes back within just a couple of feet of where you're at, right? And
Correct.
I watch
Yes.
if the ground is crappy, they put their hand up and they let it land into their hand, or they just reach up and grab it. I mean, I guess when batteries start to get weak, it automatically wants to return to get back to get.
Correct. It will monitor the battery. It will monitor the battery, and when it knows that it needs to get home, it will turn around and come home, even if you're trying to tell it to go away.
What a cool feature that is! I'm sure the $40 one ain't gonna do features like that.
Yeah,
but I'm looking more than anything else to be able to. Because of my prosthetic leg, I'm a little paranoid about climbing up a ladder, and so I thought, there'd be times where even if I just make it go up and get an overall view of what the RV looks like from above, or what my surrounding area looks like, or whatever, and comes back down, I can live with that to start off with. So, Greg,
I love your ingenuity at rationalization of this. It's wonderful,
like
creative. Oh goodness, you're a kid. You're a kid.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. I want a different kind of a toy. So
the higher end ones. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're going to get, but the higher end ones all have collision avoidance in them, such that unless you if you have a standard speed and a high speed, and if you're not at high speed, you cannot fly into a wall. It will sense that object and stop before it gets in front of it, so that you can't.
Everything that I've read about them, they claim about the only thing that screws them up sometimes is wires, because there's not enough. Like telephone lines, there's not enough material there for it to know.
Right, absolutely.
But if you go up like 100 feet, you should be a clear of something like that.
Absolutely.
They even avoid birds and all kinds of things like that. So now the one big from a camping standpoint is, at the moment, national parks do not allow you to fly a drone, but that apparently is changing. They're apparently you're supposed to register these things. They're apparently going to change that and set some guidelines up for people that maybe they won't let them fly. They won't let you fly it over like maybe up in Yellowstone. You can't fly it over the crowds, but you can fly it over the mountains or whatever the hell it is. So
that's an interesting comment, because there was a drone that recently caused a fire in a forest, and they charged when it crash landed, and they charged the owner with that fire. But that article spoke to the fact that they said it was legal to fly in the forest, national parks, but that but you are responsible for any danger, damage. But in general,
it was his fault that he caused the fire. So it's just one of those things.
Right. I kind of get that part.
It seems like every video I watch where anybody's got any drone footage, they're on their second or third drone from either losing it or crashing it.
Right. You'll find the aficionados that do crazy, stupid things.
Yeah.
Will fly it over water, and I'm not quite sure. I've seen some people just do some silly stuff. But anyways, it's been a tremendous, great amount of fun. You know, you said that it stays away. It recognizes birds and stays away from them, but it will not easily be able to avoid eagles, which will come in and knock it out of the sky.
And apparently that's like a big fun thing for eagles to do, apparently.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right. And also then too, you also have the fact that, I mean, they're just an absolute tremendous amount of fun, and they capture video that you just otherwise couldn't get. My son went down to Lake Havasu with the family and on a ski boat, and he had it filming them skiing and everything else like that. And you know, these are just shots that you just can't get otherwise, of angles of fun. You know, circling the drone. I mean, they can follow you. You can get on your bike and ride down a trail, and it will follow behind you. It will circle around you. If you make a proper sign, it will take a picture of you.
yeah, it's a great. They claim they're great for doing selfies or whatever. So.
Well, yeah, right. I had a desire. One of the customer sites I'm working on is building a gas station, and I wanted to have drone footage of going down the freeway, veering off immediately to watch a time-lapse video of the station going from a plain dirt to a full-blown working station, and all that kind of stuff. And then my son quickly reminded me, Dad, you can't fly near John Wayne Airport, because I want to be going down the 55. And there's lots of restrictions for airports and such.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Greg,
yeah.
We were talking about all this being able to go places you couldn't go before. Yesterday on the news, they were showing the new Star Wars land that they're building at Disney.
Right.
And that had to be taken with a drone. I mean, it was so perfect.
Yeah, quality is excellent.
If you've ever looked and seen the building of the Apple campus, the spaceship.
Oh yeah.
That those people up there were shooting was fabulous looking stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've contacted a couple of the YouTubers that are out there that are RVers that do drone footage or whatever it is, and asked for permission if I could use some of their drone footage. Now, obviously, I could copy it and put it in my own personal videos to show at home or whatever it is. That's no big deal. But I wanted to know if any of them would give me permission to use bits and pieces of the drone footage in my YouTube video of my travels for places, since I don't have a drone. But I would give them credit either on screen while it's playing, you know, drone footage courtesy of so and so, or at the end in like credits at the end. So far, nobody's bothered to get back to me. I guess they're just also paranoid about it or whatever. But I thought, you know, this might be a good plug for your channel if you let me say drone footage provided by Less Junk, More Journey on YouTube, something like that. And so maybe I'll get lucky and somebody will come back and say, yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't care. Who knows? Probably because most of them are monetizing as much as they can off of the YouTube stuff. So somebody just dinged, whatever that was.
I didn't do anything.
Well, it wasn't me, but I have a technical question.
Sure, go ahead.
Now, I don't have the very latest, and I don't think it's any later anyway. iMac, it's almost exactly a year old. The keypad is ultra sensitive. I've decreased the sensitivity down to as far as it goes, but still, as example, I want to put it to sleep, and I let go, and unless I jerk my hand away, it comes back on again. If any of my fingers are within about half an inch, it'll respond, which is not very good when you're trying to be precise selecting something.
Got any suggestions on that, Robert?
I'm sorry, I was distracted.
Oh, Ron, explain it again, Ron, if you would. Keypad sensitivity issue.
Yeah.
Trackpad, you mean?
My
Right?
keypad came
Trackpad.
about a year ago. So
Ron, you mean a trackpad? You mean a trackpad, Ron?
Yeah, it's a trackpad.
Okay. Is it built in?
Yeah, it's a standard Apple trackpad. It's on Bluetooth.
Okay. Oh, it's one of the external trackpads.
Right.
Okay.
Now, as a overly sensitive, and I pulled the sensitivity down as much as I'm allowed to, down to the left side. But just as an example, when I want to put it to sleep, I put it over to sleep from the menu, and if my hand stays for more than half a second, it comes back on again. I have to, as soon as I click to put it to sleep, I have to jerk my hand away. Now, this also makes it difficult when I'm making selections. It's often very sensitive, and I select something I didn't want to select.
Right. Yeah. All of this is the driver, and it's a issues just really all about the driver. And you're not going to have any ability to improve this. Your only hope is to hope that they come out with a update to their driver.
Ron, would it be possible for Robert, if he took it into an Apple store to one of the because it is an Apple brand trackpad, right?
Yes.
It is.
I would take it to an Apple store and try it on another computer, or try another trackpad at the Apple store on an existing computer, just to make sure it's not a physical problem with the trackpad.
Wow, I was imagining it was not an Apple trackpad.
They do sell an external trackpad.
Correct. Right. Yes. I'm aware of that. And wow. Yeah, that's about as good as any. They might just exchange it. It could possibly be a defect, but it certainly did sound like a driver, which I would have thought you would have. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that would have lasted very long. Was it recently good and now not?
Or has it always been that way?
Pretty much this whole year.
From the time you got it?
Right.
I've definitely taken it into an Apple store.
I have.
Is there a preference? Is there a system preference for the trackpad?
Yes.
Have you looked in there for sensitivity?
Sensitivity, and I decrease the sensitivity.
Okay. I haven't seen any problems with those, and that's why I was imagining a third party.
I have the same problem with my mouse.
And, they won't be able to tell that it is not what it should be.
Bob, did you have something to say?
I have the same problem, exact same problem as Ron with my mouse.
With your mouse?
It's a mouse, not a trackpad.
An Apple brand mouse?
Correct. It came with the iMac.
Huh.
That's probably the one that's the Magic Mouse.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, the problem, the wireless Magic Mouse that I have, or Mighty Mouse, whichever one they call this, that I have, is because as I've gotten older and because of my diabetes and neuropathy in my fingers, I really can't feel left side of the mouse versus right side of the mouse. And I'm notoriously trying to do something with the right mouse click when I'm hitting the left mouse click. And I keep saying what I'm going to do. I keep saying what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of tape, a real skinny piece of tape like pinstripe or whatever, down the center of the mouse so that I could physically feel when I've moved my finger over to the right side versus the left side. But other than that, that's the only issue.
Websites, it has a mind of its own, in other words. And extremely frustrating.
Here's a question, Bob. How clean is it? The top part.
Well, I dust it periodically. That's about it.
I would probably take a little Windex, spray it on a little paper towel, and just clean it off. There could be some residue that your hand builds up on it that may make a connection where you don't
from the fingers or something.
Yeah, now the problem I run with what you're talking about, Steve, is see the little bars that run across the bottom of the slide bars?
Yeah.
Yes.
is they'll build up crud.
Right,
And-
but
and
I have been to people's
And I
houses.
take my fingernail and scrape it off, and that seems to solve. But what that causes for me is that when I'm moving the mouse around on the screen, I'll see the mouse pointer jump because that crud effect in it or whatever it is.
Right, but the other
That's sort
thing
of like the
is,
old problem with the old when they had the trackball inside. You had to pull that out and scrape the crud off of that every so often.
oh God, let's not go back there. I hate those.
No, same concept, same idea.
Yeah, but the thing is I've been to people's houses that have the Magic Mouse, and they look like they've never cleaned it. You know, the white side, and that crud that builds up can transmit, you know, stuff that you don't want. Now I'm on my MacBook Pro, and I'm looking for on trackpad, and I'll be darned if I can see. I don't see anything for.
There's nothing in system preferences. Nothing about sensitivity.
Well, that's what I'm saying is in system preferences, I'm looking here on the second row, fourth from the left is called trackpad. And if I click on that, it says first page is tap to click, secondary click, look up, or 3-finger drag, and a tracking speed. Then there's the next one is scroll directional. The scroll direction is natural, zoom in or out, smart zoom, and rotate. And the last one says more gestures, and it's got about 6 or 7 of these other options, but nowhere do I see anything about sensitivity.
Right.
But you got to remember, though, in the case of both Bob and Ron, I think yours is too, Bob. Is yours an external trackpad or is it a built-in trackpad?
No, it's a mouse. It's the Mighty Mouse or whatever.
Okay, it's a mouse. But Ron's is an external trackpad, and a lot of times preferences don't show up until you physically actually have the device. So, like as an example, if I didn't have this Magic Mouse, I had a cabled-in mouse. The options for a Bluetooth mouse wouldn't even show up. Apple figures that out and just doesn't bother to show you. So you don't always see all the options for every possible external device. Am I right, Robert? You don't normally see all the options for external devices if you don't happen to have it on your own computer.
That's right. That's right. UPSs and those kinds of things will pop up when they detect a device that would support it.
That makes it tough to diagnose if you don't have one of everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still think your best bet, Ron, would be to schedule a Genius appointment or whatever and take the damn thing down to Apple while you still got warranty on it left and plug it into one of their, or use the Bluetooth on one of their computers. I'm sure the Genius would work with you on that. And then try another identical trackpad and see if you're getting the same kind of result. That'd be easier than taking the computer down.
Bring just a trackpad or the mouse. You don't have to bring the whole computer, do you?
No, I would think you'd be okay just to take the trackpad or the mouse to one of the Apple stores.
Okay.
But schedule an appointment. You don't want to sit there and wait forever and a day. Schedule an appointment and tell them the issue that you're having, that you'd like to try the mouse or the trackpad on one of their computers.
Yeah.
And or try see what it's supposed to work like from their perspective and see if it works for them the way it's supposed to work. Now you've got somebody who's supposedly dealing with this stuff all day long. So
that's a good idea.
If you've got, I know in the Dallas area, Bob, there should be 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, I know where they are.
Okay.
I know where the Apple stores are. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe I should try. Maybe I should try cleaning it first. As, Steve suggested.
What
just be careful.
What can you clean a trackpad with? That's the problem.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. Just a spritz of Windex on a paper towel.
Yeah, don't spray it on the trackpad itself.
Exactly. Just a light little dusting of this spray, and just wipe the surface clean. And that should not hurt it at all. I've done that on my trackpad on the computer and stuff. And your paper towel should not be drippy. There's just a light spritz.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't use
on
the
the
trackpad
top.
on my MacBook Pro. I've never been a good trackpad person. And so when I forget to bring my mouse with me, which is rare anymore, and I have to use the trackpad, God, it's like I'm dealing with, I could almost use a keyboard better than move the keyboard with the cursor better
Yeah.
than I could with the trackpad. That's just me. And, I was the same way when I tried to use like the track balls, sit down at somebody's computer where they use a track ball rather than a track. I'd almost want to take the track ball and turn it upside down and use it that way, just because this is what I got used to, and I've just never been able to break that habit.
You had to clean that ball all the time, take it out.
Well, that's not only, Bob, that's not only the ball, but the little black rollers.
The sensors inside, yes.
Oh, no, the rollers, the rubber rollers that the ball.
Oh, yeah. Those are the ones that got more crud on them than the ball itself did.
Yes.
You're right. On the old mouse.
With a Q-tip, I had to clean those with a Q-tip.
Hey, there's Bobo.
Yeah, I'm running a little late, but I'm here.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Okay, thanks, Greg. How are you?
Good. Well, our so-called rain here in Southern California lasted about a minute and a half, at least here in Anaheim. So.
Well, down here in Aliso, it's dripping. That's about it.
I've got concrete outside my sliding glass door here that's already drying out. So.
Oh. Robert.
Yes.
Mute that thing. I hear every type you do.
Yeah, who's ever typing, we can sure hear it pretty
That's
bad.
Robert.
How do you know?
Caught.
So what are we going to do? Sit here and smile at each other, or is there anything we can talk about?
You want to talk about, Robert? Do you have any specific topics that you'd like to talk about? Otherwise, I can go ahead and talk about some free apps and stuff that I've run across. Either way.
Yeah, no, I was excited to hear about your free apps, and because the reality is I'm not going to be able to stay long, and I've been missing out, Greg. Come on, let's get it going.
Right.
I want to hear about.
Well, this may be short and sweet, but give me a moment here, and let me go share that screen.
Yeah, so I often, I guess we're all pretty much independent, capable of doing all of our own stuff because I didn't have any real problems of any significance, but it's all good.